Hello everyone, welcome to this brand new series Tangled Motifs. I have already posted teasers on my social media, Instagram and Facebook page, right? So today we will be starting warming up, having a feel of this series which will be using Zentangle patterns to create beautiful motifs which can be used directly for printing, for for on fabric, on cards, anything. You can use it in so many different ways. It's just about arranging tangles in certain way that create this beautiful motif kind of a feel thing that can be repeated number of times on a card, on a piece of paper, on fabric, on anything, right? So sorry to keep you on hold for such a long time. There was lots happening on home front and on the health front. So but bouncing back now, so let's get started. And today we will be just going with a simple motif just to give you a feel of what the upcoming sessions would be like, right? So I'm going to use a A5 size sheet, slightly bigger than our tile, a smaller sheet than the A4 size, just that the motif is prominent enough. Use a good quality paper, acid free, right? And the rest of the stationery will be the usual stationery that we use. That is a normal HB pencil, Micron O1 and dot loans and the blending stumps and white chalk if required, right? So let's get started right away. So I have done some groundwork here. This is the shape that we are going to be working on today, right? So what I have done here is just divide roughly your sheet of paper into two halves, right? There's a line running through in the center. And then I have drawn an outer shape, right? Generally when we are drawing motifs, there is some kind of a shape that you highlight, right? And it's good to go with a prominent shape and then fill in patterns inside. It looks more like a motif rather than just an abstract design. So that's the whole idea. So I'm just going to outline this shape first using my O1. So this is basically heart shape, right? And heart, you can just draw a heart simply and then erase the in-between thing, right? So that's what I mean to say. This is the heart shape and I'm not connecting this like this, right? So basically erasing the center space and then just curl it, give it a nice beautiful curl, which we are going to highlight later, right? So I'm drawing here freehand, as is the case with Zentangle. However, if you are too concerned about symmetry and you want it to be used for professional purposes, I will show you that also in one of the sessions. In that case, it is better to draw one side and then trace it and then replicate the same thing on the other side. Yeah. So that can also be done. However, going with the principles of Zentangle, I am going to be using minimum tools here and the classic leaf shape, right? Connected it. So what you can do is first draw the heart and then draw this leaf kind of shape and then erase this line so you get this shape. So we are going to be working on this shape today and I'm going to be keeping it simple today just to start, to warm up, as I mentioned, right? So just give it a nice curl as you do for mocha and then join it here, right? Again, if you want, you can take a reference, right? So if you're too concerned about symmetry and other things, then you can always take a reference here. Again, curl it up, give a nice curl, and then again you can either do it freehand or you can ensure absolute symmetry. Yeah, so probably we can give one more nice curve here like this, right? Now that I have done that, another thing, going to add these bunzo in this center space, right? This is basically, you can say it is mocha, it is gorgeous, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it is a combination of those two shapes, mocha and gorgeous. What I am drawing in the center is the tangle bunzo. By now I think you realize that I mostly go with Zentangle originals, right? I'm not much into other patterns because I find that originals have a special quality to them, right, which not many other patterns have. Yes, there are very nice patterns by many CZTs, but this kind of a, aura based, clear, simple strokes, it's hard to find. So I have inserted some bunzo, right, and then I'm just going to add the straight line with some weight at the end, right? I've done this many times. So just adding a V shape at the end and inking it, again going straight up, adding a V shape at the end, inking it, again going straight up, adding a V shape at the end, inking it, right? So if the shape is nice, then you can have your choice of tangles to fill inside and it looks nice as a motif. Yeah, so first create an outer border, outer shape which is impressive, which looks like a motif or a main design, which can be repeated couple of times depending on whatever medium you want it to be, right? So just adding these plain lines with some weight at the end, that is what I am doing. Yeah, and I'll do this on the other side also. Slowly take your time. Right, don't bother too much about how the lines are, whether they are straight, whether they are curved, right? So don't worry too much about symmetry, right? So I've done that exercise. So one thing that you can do right away is redo the outer line, add some bit of thickness, retrace it, redefine it, right? And then bunzo, the way it is generally, just ink it. You can either leave the highlight or you can add the highlight with your chalk, whatever way you are comfortable, right? So I'm just, so take your time and gradually ink these beautiful bunzos. You can also add something inside the stripes if you don't want to ink it, but as I keep saying, always some amount of inking always adds to the look, no matter if it is a motif, right? So take your time and nicely ink the bunzo with the highlight along the line, the center line that you have drawn. Just for reference, you can do without it also. And as I mentioned, if you're too concerned about symmetry, then you can always add more references. Right now it is just a feeler, right? So we will draw some beautiful motifs during this series. So that's the Tangle bunzo. You can see it looks so prominent, so much of drama that it adds to anything, any piece of work. Right, so take your time and make sure that you ink the things properly, right? So moving on next to these curls, nice curls that we have drawn. So I'm just going to add some weight just like we do for weighted printums. Yeah, it's a nice tangle enhancing technique. I'm just going to add some weight on the outside, highlight the curves a little more. Same here. Right, so take your time and nicely. This space in between is a nice space to add any tangle. You can either leave it like that or you can add anything else. Yeah. So now let us move on. I'm going to start with adding these lines and give it a pork kind of feel, right? So I've just started adding some double lines. And insert orbs inside it, just like we have in the tangle pork, right? And I'll do the same here also. Right? So don't bother too much about what lines. Enjoy how Zentangle can be used in different ways to create beautiful artwork, right? So don't bother too much about symmetry and other things. That's my advice. So if you are, then you might use some other tools also, right? So starting with orbs, fill up the small little spaces in between, preferably at the same time. So squeeze in the orbs. I'm not drawing complete orbs here, as you can see. I'm drawing behind, just like we do for the tangle pork. And take your time and squeeze in the orbs, starting from one end to the other, or you can start from the center and do just the way we do for pork, and then fill in the sides, right? You can start from here and do that exercise. I'm starting from one side here. Slowly, gradually, small little intersectices, spaces between tangles add a lot when filled in. If they were big enough, probably you can add orbs also. Yeah. So again, doing the same exercise, and we'll do the same on the other side also. Yeah. So I am almost finishing doing the same exercise on the other side also. On the last one now. Just like the tangle pork, keep adding, squeezing in orbs in each of the sections that you created using the double lines, and add the orbs. Yeah. So now we have this circle, the whole lot of tangles that you can choose from, right? So let's go with the same printums, or you can add an eye just like a peacock, or you can add any other tangle, right? So let's see. Probably I'll just go with the same as I did here, lines with auras. So you can either add printums, or there are whole lot of fragments that you can go with that are used inside orbs, right? So choose any. You can also highlight it like a gem or a stone. So we will do all that in our upcoming sessions. Probably use a gem in a motif, right? Make sure you redo the line. Right, and the same thing on the other side. Take your time, be patient, relax, enjoy the strokes, enjoy the tangles. See how beautiful they look like just by varying the arrangements. Yeah, so that's the whole fun. So again I'm going to redo this circle. Yeah, so you can leave this thing here, or you can do small little things such as these, converting the simple line into a bead line, adding one or two bead lines in between, right? You can also add a moon here, or a henna drum, anything that you feel like, or probably a moon pie. What say? Yeah, it's a whole lot of things that you can do if you want to complicate it. Yeah, or keep it simple. So going with moon pie here. And leave it here. Yeah, so this is the motif. I'm going to stop here first, shade it, and then we'll see if you want to add something else. Yeah, so shading, again highlight the center and darken the edges. That's the way I would go. No need to add on the blacks actually. You can do away with that. So if I want, I can keep adding to this, right? Create it more complex, make it more complex, add some leaves, petals, add something to my printums also. But let's start with something simple. Let's see how we can use shapes and use tangles inside those shapes to create beautiful motifs, right? So first what I did is added a nice shape, right, and then filled it with tangles that I felt will look nice inside the shape, will do justice with the shape, right? So that's the whole thing, and in the upcoming sessions we will practice more of it. So pick up your blending stub and start to blend. Take away the chalk, the graphite from the edges, bring it towards the center, but don't cover the entire center. Again bunzo, darken the edges. You want the center highlight, right? So darken the edges. Again the muka perk, yeah, blending of two patterns, the shape of muka merged with perk. Again blend, leave a highlight in the center, don't blend too much, yeah. And then the way you do your printums, add some shading inside. Right, moon pie I'm not going to add anything, just a touch here probably. Yeah, and then time to pick up your chalk. Shade the white section where you have not added graphite. Right, and it's already highlighted, it's bunzo, so you don't really need to, but if you wish you can highlight it a little more. Highlight this section, use a different blender, soften the chalk. Make sure you even it out. Little bit of graphite here and there, I'm just cleaning it up. Yeah, and I think we are done with today's motif. Yeah, so if you wish you can add small little things here, you can add small little things here, right? It's entirely up to you. It's a nice shape, you can add a leaf shape or something else. You can add small little things here. Probably we'll do a small little thing like this. Just add the scallops. Right, and add something inside, and it will add to the look of your motif. Small little things, yeah. Yeah, that's it, we are done. So that's our motif for today, and I'll see you again with many more such sessions. Till then, have a good time. Bye bye.